Hey guys, how's it going? So this is from the rally in Lansing, Michigan on August 14th, 2020. And I was introduced to the lady that you're about to meet. Her name is Gabrielle by a couple friends. And I'm glad they introduced us because she's really cool, she's really smart, and most important, she has a story to share. And it has to do with cancel culture. It has to do with a lot of the state of affairs in Michigan. And I'm going to leave a link to her Facebook down in the description of this video. So make sure you go and check her out over there. And yes, it does have to do with the mask. If you guys can't handle talking about the mask, then don't watch. But I think it's a great interview that we did. Really not an interview, more just like hanging out with my new friend. And as I've said so many times on my other channel, but those of you that have never watched my 2AEDU channel, I'll say it here. I don't judge you regardless. If you want to wear the mask, wear the mask. If you don't want to wear the mask, don't wear the mask. It's a personal choice. It's up to you. You can make that decision with your doctor if you want. I'm not a doctor. And for Susan and her little algorithm, this has nothing to do with medical advice. This video is just two friends talking and exercising their First Amendment rights, if YouTube will still allow that. And for those of you that watch my 2AEDU channel, you might be seeing Gabrielle in a couple upcoming videos because she's looking to become a new gun owner. Just got her CPL and is looking for a handgun. And you guys know I like to teach about guns, so there might be some videos with her and I talking about guns and getting her introduced more into the Second Amendment and the right to keep herself and her family safe. Alright, so I'm here in Lansing. We just got done with the rally and I'd like to introduce you guys to Gabrielle. So, how's it going today?
Oh, it's hot. It's great.
Yeah, I know. So we were just having a talk a few minutes ago when I met you, and you said you used to work in the medical field, right?
I did. I worked in Detroit at an inner city hospital as a cardiovascular invasive specialist. So I did sterile percutaneous interventional procedures, interventional radiology, neurology, peripheral vascular also. I'm doing it for almost a decade.
And do you work there anymore?
I don't. I was fired because of a post that I made in a private Facebook group. I had a photo of myself kind of mocking the mask, so I did like a Snapchat filter with the devil horns, but it was just saying, like, unless I'm doing a procedure, like I always have and always would wear a mask for.
Right.
I just, after a lot of personal experience being in the ER and like being out in the world and hearing just a lot of crap that's so false, like I just decided to start standing up for myself and my rights. And being told to wear a mask to go to the bathroom, I just thought that was insane. Or even go down to get lunch out of the cafeteria when there's nobody around. Like, so I put a post up saying, after mask, I'm not wearing it unless I can, for the procedure. But the crazy thing is, I never once mentioned where I worked or even what I did specifically. But somehow, somebody that was stalking me found it and sent the screenshots to the CEO of my hospital.
So you never made it appear that, like, the hospital you were working
No,
for,
never once.
Their opinion on masks or anything like that. I've been hearing so much about this lately where people in social media, like Chief Bucola, who was one of the speakers here today, he said that he stood up for the Second Amendment, the law-abiding gun owner, right? And he lost his job as chief of police.
Crazy.
And now you lost your job from just posting your own, sounds like personal opinions on social media, right?
Yeah, and then some, like, internet trolls, stole all my photos, made an article out there about me that people were sharing, saying that I was a dangerous person and I don't deserve to be in healthcare. Really, I've been saving people's lives from having massive MIs for over almost a decade. I don't deserve to be in healthcare because of a mask that does nothing and does not prevent the spread of any virus. That's insane that people would, like, judge somebody like that just from one, like, false angle, of who they are. It's sad. I've dedicated most of my life to what I've done. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just some random rebellious person. Like, there's a lot of scientific data to back the fact that these masks are pointless and it's a control thing at this point. And that's what I get for standing up for the truth and trying to advocate and help people understand,
Well, it happens to a lot of people, and that's what I feel like it is lately. It's just the governor gets up there, whoever it is in Lansing, and says, just shut up and do what you're told. And you're an uncaring, terrible person if you don't.
Yeah, you're selfish, you're dangerous. We're the ones that think. Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, no, they don't want you to think, because that's what happens when you have tyranny or a dictator where just one person dictates to you what you're going to do. That doesn't work if the populace is thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've talked about this a lot on my own. I do YouTube streams every week, and you can check it out later. But basically, we're what's called cancel culture nowadays. where if you don't conform to like this strict socio standard of how everyone wants you to act, they cancel you and they make you lose your job. They try to make you lose your friends.
It's censored.
It seems like maybe they tried to cancel you, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Cancel out your profession?
Yes, and honestly, I don't have a lot of answers. I just have my own gut feelings on things. But, you know, things leading up to what happened to me, I feel like had a lot to do with it somehow because I was working in the ER. They had shut down my department. We weren't allowed to save lives. When people had heart attacks, we wouldn't be called in for it in the middle of the night like we always are. So we were just letting people die. And so my department was getting shut down, and it was either disperse yourself to help throughout the hospital somewhere else or don't work. And so I volunteered to go down to the ER in the very beginning of all this March. And I was like, I want to see what's really going on for myself. And everything that the media put out there, and about my hospital specifically, I saw it on the news in my own break room, and I saw lies, nothing but lies. The fear tactics that were used, like the things that I saw and witnessed, and then I saw like the media taking a picture of something and then putting a completely false narrative to it. I started getting first I was scared. I was like, what kind of world are we living in? I started to see through a lot of illusions and facades that are just painted by the media, but then I finally started to stand up and say, this is wrong. And I'm going to do whatever I can to stand up and let my voice and experience be heard, because I have a child and I don't want her to grow up in a world like this. And this is the beginning of the end. Like, we need to stand up and do something now and fight back.
Yeah, because if you just sit back and watch it, you become complacent in it.
Yep, you're enabling it.
We even had that in what they call the Nuremberg Trials after World War II. The people that ran the concentration camps and all these soldiers, they said, well, why did you march millions of Jews into the death camps? And they said, well, we were just following orders. It kind of seems like a lot of that's going on here.
I agree. Yes, I just did something like that recently. We're going down the corridors. Like, what's next? The microchip, the vaccine? Like, no.
All kinds of stuff. And like I said, this cancel culture, it's so toxic. You said something against the grain, against the governor, and they basically tried to cancel you and, in their opinion, ruin your life. But
they actually did me a favor because I don't want to go back to that kind of culture. You know, I have a lot of education experience behind it, and I'm grateful for it all, and I've met a lot of good people along the way. But after what I saw firsthand, how we were treating people was walking in and having to let them die because we thought they were so infectious, or like, you know, but it had nothing to do with the virus. It was something completely unrelated. Like, you know, they had an underlying issue for a long time, like, you know, even having a heart attack. Well, we don't know if they have COVID, so we have to let them die. So then that adds to the COVID numbers, you know. I could go on and on in depth about.
I have a good friend that's in the hospital right now, okay, and she's having some symptoms, pneumonia. She probably caught it in the hospital, but to make a long story short, I was just talking to her husband. How's she doing? He said, well, they won't let me see her because they're not sure if she has coronavirus yet. So 2 days ago, let me back up. He said she's had 4 tests, negative on all of them, but they still won't let me in there. So talked to him yesterday. Now she's tested negative 8 times. And I said, what are they doing? And he said it seems like they're going to keep testing her until she's finally positive, so they can.
So if it's their narrative, people are allowed to have pneumonia. And you know, when you wear a mask constantly all day long, and especially being in healthcare, I had to wear 30 pounds of lead, a sterile gown, a bonnet, a mask, booties. Like, I would sweat and I couldn't breathe. If I did that, like, outside of even working, like, I would get pneumonia so quick too. My immune system would be suppressed too, and I would get sick with anything, you know. But it's like, any way they can, like, twist it or skew it to make it add to the coronavirus numbers, like, they're going to do that, and it's wrong. It's not okay. Like, and it's been a joke. A lot of my other healthcare worker friends are like, oh, so-and-so is allowed to have CHF again, or so-and-so is allowed to have COPD again, you know,
because it seems like once this China virus came in, all other sicknesses magically ended, right?
They did, yeah. It was insane. It was so crazy.
And you said they shut down your department?
Yeah.
Is that because of the China virus?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, because we didn't know what we were handling or didn't know what we were dealing with, and, you know, we didn't know how to treat it. We were told as medical professionals that we didn't know how to treat a virus. And people come with viruses all the time. You treat the person, not the monitor. So instead of treating the people, we were treating the piece of paper that the CDC and the WHO and whoever else was sending us, like, this is so scary. You don't know how to treat it, so just intubate them. So we were intubating people left and right unnecessarily.
With all of the pneumonia that can happen from the intubation of the tubes.
When you chemically put somebody in a coma for so long, you make them dependent on the machine and drugs. And then when you take them off, there's no coming off of it because you took away that ability your body's not going to like just restart doing it again. So a lot of people don't make it off ventilators after a long time.
I know once you're on a ventilator, it's pretty grim. I do know that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a medical professional, but I have common sense. And you know, a heart attack, you said, right? You talked about, like, there's that old saying, as serious as a heart attack. Like, that will and can kill you, right?
Yeah.
And now we're more worried about a China virus, it seems like, than actual heart attacks. And
yeah, the survival rate of an MI as opposed to the coronavirus, it's like night and day. It's not even comparable.
And it's like 1 in 400 people are even gonna, you know, have any type of sickness from this virus in Michigan.
Yeah, the survival rate is so incredibly high that it's a joke at this point as to why we're even wearing masks or even afraid to get it. Honestly, from like a normally healthy person, you want to get sick. You want to get colds, flus. You want to become immune to things because that's how we've survived as a human species. We're biological beings. Like we don't hide from each other and over sanitize our lives. We don't live in fear and panic all the time. We like connect with each other and we pick up each other's bugs. And I might get sick and it might suck, but I'm not going to die from it. I'm going to become healthier in the long run from it.
But you're going to build antibodies in the T receptors and things like that.
Yes.
And that's what they call the herd immunity, because even a herd of animals, the reason why they didn't go extinct is because once a certain percentage of the herd gets it, there's enough antibody where it can't, you know, become prolific throughout the rest, right?
Yeah, that's just one of the great things about our bodies, you know, our physical body. We have the immune system, and it's our defense. When we take down that wall of defense by hiding behind a mask and sterilizing everything, you're asking to get sick and like not have an immune system to defend you, and you probably will not do so good or not make it at that point, you know, even from a cold.
You know, I just thought of this kind of crazy. We're standing by the Michigan Capitol. Michigan's been around a while, but certainly less than 200 years. So before we even had Michigan governors, right? Let alone press conferences and Facebook and stuff, how did we even survive this long, right? Did they ever just sit back and think about that?
No, doesn't fit their narrative.
We're still here before there was CNN and before there was Gretchen's press conference.
Yeah, how did we make it without them? God.
Yeah, but now we can't even. Yeah, exactly. Now we can't even make it one day. And I just heard her earlier today on my way to the rally here. She said, now, FEMA's just donated 1.5 million masks and Ford Motor Company, and there's 4 million more masks in Michigan, and that's the only thing that can save us.
More masks than I'm throwing in the garbage.
Good, I would do the same thing. I don't have one on me right now. I just don't have room for it.
Like I said, unless I was doing a procedure, you know, just because when bodies are opened or, you know, you don't want to infect anybody that way, but it doesn't prevent you, like, there's so much to it. And
well, here's what I heard the governor
say.
The
masks are even dumber.
The stuff people are just, their mom's making it, and bless their heart, they're trying to be nice.
Yeah,
but
it's just harboring bacteria in that thing and breathing it in all day long and then spreading it when you breathe out. Like, it's so crazy what we're doing to ourselves without even thinking or questioning anything.
I'll leave you with this thought. I just wanted your opinion on this, but to me it seems like we're just being socially engineered, because I heard the governor this morning, she said, remember, with the mask, it's not just about you, it's about being a good person. And you're not a good person if you don't.
That's total manipulation. That's like, you know, the easiest manipulation tactic to pick up on is guilting people. You're not a good person, you're a danger to society because it's for the greater good for all. It's like, no, lying to us, that's a danger.
And you know what? God bless you. It sounds like with every end, there's a new beginning, and it sounds like you're looking forward to this new beginning. So, in that, it's a good thing. But as far as, like I said earlier, this cancel culture where you lost your job, I'm going to go as far as to blame the governor for that, for a good portion of it, because she's done nothing but get on there and say, rat out your neighbor, rat out your friends, start trouble, right?
Absolutely.
And then that's what's going on right here in this Capitol building, is she's sitting there encouraging people. And
any kind of leader or somebody in power that encourages people to divide each other and like tell on each other and create like hate and fear, like what does that say about you as a person and your character truly? Like the people that I want in power or like have say over my liberties and freedoms and, you know, laws, like I would want somebody that I can trust, and people that do that to other people or encourage that behavior, that's scary. That's frightening. That doesn't show unity or compassion or empathy. You're scaring the shit out of people, and you're trying to divide them and tell on each other. That is disgusting. Oh, when I first saw that on the news, I had to shut it off. I was like, I'm done. I cannot. Oh my God, is this serious? Like, how do people not hear this when she talks? Who's still buying this?
Well, that's why I want to share this video with people to offer encouragement for them, because everybody can't come out and talk about it, but I'm glad you did, because you know you're not the only one, right? There's other people going through exactly what you did, and Maybe
We
they're a
just have to
little
start
more
standing
scared.
up. It's our time to step up now more than ever. It's important. Like, it's scary, but being fearless and showing yourself how fearless you can be by standing up and actually doing something to fight back. We grow in numbers, and that our power, we give our government power. They are supposed to work for us.
Yep. By our consent.
Yeah, them just coming in and we're like ants scattering. Like, no. Like, that's ending. We're standing up now, and I just, once you get over that initial fear and you come out and you like do it, you get this whole new refreshed sense of purpose, and it's contagious. So I encourage everybody to come out and stand up, even if it's one time, and bring your kids, show them what it's like to be patriotic, and show them what it's like to stand up for your rights and your freedoms and exercise your constitutional rights. And
Well, that is encouraging. I appreciate it. Thank you for
thank you so
encouraging me.
much.
Nice to meet you today.
You too.
We'll talk again, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had a great time in Lansing that day. It was great talking to her, and I'm glad that I met a new friend. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.